Calling all nerds. This is More Than Dice, the podcast where we dive deep into the realms of everything nerdy. Whether you're a nerd culture connoisseur, a tabletop titan, a miniature gaming marveler, or just someone who proudly embraces their inner geek, this is the podcast for you. And now here's your hosts, Gonzo, Nerd, and Mizzy.
Welcome to episode 323, our year in review and our New Year's plans, resolutions, somethings, something things. We are going to be talking about our year in review and some predictions that we might see happening. Hey, Shadow Sword, thanks for joining us. And what we plan on doing this next year, how the podcast is going to go next year, and so on and so forth. So before we do that, we got to get to the business. We want to thank Turbo Dork for sponsoring the channel, providing us with awesome metallic paints and turbo shifting paints. They are a great company, good peoples. We want to thank Creature Caster for sponsoring the channel, for providing us with awesome paints and miniatures that we can 3D print. They are doing up a change on their Patreon / My Mini Factory Tribe, I think is what it actually is. And check that out and make sure to look at it. And also check out their Cuttlefish colors that you can get, and you'll see all that stuff coming up pretty soon. I think
we didn't introduce ourselves. That's Gonzo. I'm Nerd, and
I'm Mizzy.
Gonzo
Gonzo just said, "We're doing this. Let's go."
We're getting this shit on like Donkey Kong.
Just so excited to get with it that he's skipping things.
Oh, true. We've been gone for about.
We had 2 weeks off. So.
We had 2 weeks off, and we have to get back into the groove, type thing. But we got to get all that business in, because there's going to be changes coming, but nothing bad. All cool stuff. We got cool things going on, and a lot of things happening. But before we do that, I know of at least one shout out we need to give out today.
I only know of the one.
I only know of the one also, and it happened today, of all things. Jimmy Carter passed away. President, 100 years old. I mean, the man was like 90 something and building houses still. I mean, that was his.
Down?
No. I mean, he was 100 years old, passed away, and just did. I mean, as a president, I don't remember much of his presidency. It happened, so long ago. But as a humanitarian and a great human, I mean, like I said, he was building houses in his 90s for Habitat for Humanity and stuff like that. So he was a good person in that aspect. He also was the biggest joke that I know, that he came out and said, when I was president, you forced me to sell my peanut farm, but you let all the other candidates keep their private businesses. And he was like, yeah, he was dogging on people. So
just a little bit
type thing. But like I said, his later years, he did a lot of good humanitarian work. So big shout out to that type thing. I don't think of anybody else that I know of. Does anybody else have any other shout outs?
Not that I can think of.
I can't
Another.
either. Not right now. So let's get to the real business. Mizzy, what are you drinking tonight?
I've got a little bit of blueberry wine.
Ooh.
And then for hydration, some ocean water flavored water.
I got some of that too.
So you have salt water?
Delicious. No, Sonic. Ocean water with the little flavor packets. Flavor packets.
Yeah.
Ocean water to me is just salt water, so I have no clue.
It's Sprite and coconut syrup typically.
But this is a flavor packet, so it's not Sprite and coconut water. It's something else.
Yep.
It's powdered flavoring.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, Shadow Sword does it actually taste like the ocean? That's what I would have thought. If it's ocean water.
No, it does not actually taste like the ocean. That would be disgusting. I have had ocean water in my mouth before. It is not great.
Yeah, same. I've got a blackberry sparkling water because hydration, but carbonated.
Carbonated
Bougie,
hydration.
bougie hydration.
I am
Fancy.
doing.
I wouldn't call this bougie.
I'm doing the standard, just water. So no big deal, just iced water. To keep me hydrated because I have been sick a little bit the last few days. My allergies got kicked up really hardcore this break, so I've been trying to stay hydrated. So, guys,
Not a matter of what.
as always, make sure you take care of yourself, take care of others. If you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. If you can do something, do something. And if you can't, find somebody that will. Because we've got to look after each other in this next year. Cheers.
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 Oh, mine's getting too warm. I'm gonna have to chug it.
Oh no.
So, before we get started, if you missed the pre-ramble, we did talk about what we did over the last 2 weeks off. And as usual, it was a bunch of nerd gaming stuff and eating, and a bunch of more nerd gaming stuff and a bunch of more eating, and then watching a bunch of TV. So our media section is going to be pretty robust. So we may have to cut early to it. So no big deal. I don't think anybody's going to care. So with that, I'm going to go switch over to the paint cam because I have a lot of things I want to show because we were talking about this and people are like, ooh, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? And so I'm going to switch over here. So, first things first, I printed off a bunch of miniatures for Trench Crusade, which if you don't know what Trench Crusade is, it is a skirmish World War One game fought in the trenches. The designers are some ex-GW people. The Kickstarter went off and it made $5 million on the Kickstarter.
It exceeded expectations.
Yeah. The interesting part is the game is miniature agnostics, or you can buy their miniatures physically, or they can give you the STLs and you can print them off. So, of course, me being me, I printed everything off. This model right here is the Pit Locust. He does have a human face, whereas armor has a flaming crown on his head. I'm going to try to dry brush these up and kind of work on the head a bit. Pit Lotus. And then I have these little wretched models, and these are just guys that are like grunts, and actually if they kill elite models in the game, they go away. They disappear. I have these things called Yoke Fiends, and these are all three types. The prints came out really, really well, by the way. Really solid prints. I mean, this thing is just really good. All one. Most of them are all one piece. Here's another Yoke Fiend. This guy's got two heads, two faces on one head, I should say.
Damn.
The faction I printed out for myself is Court of the Seven-Headed Serpent, but there are many, many one out there. This is Demon with a giant like shotgun. The rules are free. The rules are in beta still, so they're not completely done. Here is what's called a Hell Knight. I'm sorry if you're listening to this. We're just going to try to go through these. Yes, Shadow Sword. This is the World War One alternate history with fantasy type deal. It is World War One type technology fought in the trenches. The basic story, there's actually some good lore. I haven't read it all yet. The basic is during the Crusades, the Church of England opened a portal to hell. Hell is now on Earth, and everybody is fighting the fights. Oh, the Hell Knight with a gun. Yeah. Hell Knight with a mace and shield. All this is one piece. The one thing I have painted up was the Hell Knight with the two-handed weapon. I am doing a very dirty, gritty look to these guys. Did use the I got to put a little bit of the rust on the helmet. It's just a little too clean for me. I put some on the back, didn't put any on the front, so I'm gonna put them on the front. Chains are not getting anything, but use the dirty down rust. So I'm gonna do a rusty look. This is one of my ranged unit. It is called the Left Hand of something or other, and his cloak is flesh, and his left hand is flesh, like filleted flesh, like missing the skin. So this is gonna be a very bloody looking model, type thing. This is one I'm gonna have to do a weird type of paint scheme on. I've never done before. I don't like painting flesh, but this is flayed flesh, so it's even worse.
Yeah,
This is the sorcerer.
Oh, that one's cool.
Yeah, he's sitting on this, floating in the air. So in this army, you have to take either a sorcerer or a Praetorian. I'll show the Praetorian next, and it's actually a really cool model too. The first list I built, I did not take the sorcerer because the sorcerer can actually cast spells and throw bombs and all this other stuff. This is the Praetorian, and this is what I was telling you. His wings are flesh with teeth and mouth and hands holding his halo thing. Or
That's
she,
not creepy at all.
because there's a boob. Boob.
We can't
Breathe in-
show that on Twitch.
But like, there's intestines. You can see the intestines in the back.
It'd be insane.
Yeah. So to give you an idea of how big these models are, here is one model compared to it. And then we have the biggest model. I believe it's the biggest model in the entire army, and it's called the Desecrated Saint. I have to take the backpack because I'm going to show you its cloak first. So you glue it on right back here. But this is all like flesh and tentacles, but this is what you see on the back of it. All these skeleton and bodies and all this stuff.
Bones.
It's so many skulls and bones. This is the model, though, that wears it. And it's all flayed skin.
You're gonna have so much fun with that, Gonzo.
This one's going to be, the helmet. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to dry brush it because it's actually got a dead. It's got the saint. The saint is actually living inside of the middle of it, where it will, I guess pilot it.
Okay.
It's Shadow Sword. Painting it is. I'm kind of intimidated by this, but I'm gonna take it step by step. There's a reason why I haven't put the cloak on yet, because I mean, once you put this thing on, I mean, this thing is huge. And then compared to, a small War Machine model, it's huge.
It's ginormous.
So yeah, there's a lot of detail. All these are 3D printed on my printer, and they came out really, really well. Very well supported. Mizzy's faction is the Sultanate of the Iron Wall, and they're like a Byzantine type army. And I did put up pictures of that on there also, but
The only important model that you really need to care about is the bull.
the bull is actually pretty cool.
The bull is the best.
The Brazen Bull, which is a pretty big one. I am hearing about some people that are playing the game, and the assassin is just kicking the shit out of people. I mean,
It is a cool model.
what it can do, it's just kicking the shit out of people.
As assassins do.
Oh yeah, people are very, very worried about it. So, oh, I want to see if I can see this right here. That is that Vampire Thirst Red that is from Duncan Tooth and Coat. Duncan Road Tooth and Coat, and it's like shiny and gross and
Yeah,
looks
that
was
looks
like
like-
like an accident happened.
yeah,
I was gonna say that's almost like blood for the blood god.
yeah. So I'll be using that quite a bit on this army when I get to it. I did print off these little bombs because there is a model. I'm going to be buying another faction to 3D print called the Heretic faction, and there is a model called the Artillery Witch, which is a witch that floats around the battlefield throwing these bombs at people. And it's a really cool
Oh,
model.
yeah, yeah.
It's becoming the poster child to the Trench Crusade universe. So
Plus, it's a sweet ass model.
it is. If you haven't looked at it, if you haven't seen it, just Google Artillery Witch and it'll come up.
Nice.
It's a very cool model. People have been doing like pinups of it now too.
Of course, because the internet.
Well, the thing
Yes.
is, they're keeping the model the same. They're just doing like pinups, like she's riding the bomb, or
Oh, gotcha.
not sexual, not like nude type things, but just
Okay. Like classic pinup.
yeah, classic pinup
Yeah.
type thing. So, but I'm going to be painting up most of this army in just a dry brush and then detail and then go with it. So there's not going to be, it's not going to be a huge amount of paint scheme until it comes to those last 3 models because holy shit. Because I'm not planning on doing much. I mean, there's just most of these things are a good dry brush, and then that dirty round will just make it all just stand out really, really well. It'll make it look like the grim dark that they kind of portray or want to portray, and I'm okay with it. Type of stuff. So most of this is getting just a good dry brush and might be done. But so let's talk about our 2024. So podcast has some big changes. Mizzy came on as a permanent member.
I mean, let's be real. I was always a permanent member, just not in a front-facing
now-
capacity. But now,
Co-host.
yeah, y'all get to see this face on a regular basis. You're welcome.
I'm here for it.
And you get to make it glam every now and then. When somebody redeems it. Nerd.
Do I have enough points?
Oh, let's talk
No, I
about
don't.
points.
Oh no.
Oh,
So,
the tragedy. He had to take off his ears.
so Mizzy joined us as a permanent co-host with us and is now doing a lot of social media stuff and everything also and getting things ready and blah, blah, blah. No big deal.
I'm doing a lot more painting because of y'all. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
We're also doing a lot of cool things. Like we're doing more. We're going to be doing. I wouldn't say battle reports, but our battle discussions is what Mizzy and I are doing. We do have our Warcrow one that we still need to do and write up. Not write up. We
Mhm.
just need to do the video. And it's not. They're going to be simple things. We're not going to go into like big details of how things are going, or this huge discussion on things. It's just going to be. We played this. This is what we did. This is what we think about the game, so on and so forth.
Here's how we broke it.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Here's how we broke it. Here's what we like, what we didn't like. Shoot pictures of the miniatures and shoot pictures of the game, that type of stuff. So we've got a few games in the wing. We're going to try Carnival. We've got the Infinity Essentials that we're going to do because
Mhm.
there's missions in that, and Maisy's got her models and I've got my models, and we're going to do that. Let's see what else. What other games? Possibly. I don't think we'll be able to get it painted up in enough time, but we may do a First Blood for Conquest to show because we have the First Blood unit, that we can put together and then try out and see what it's like. And
Mhm.
then we've got. I did pick up a new game yesterday called Blackout. Blackout
Okay.
is it's BLKOUT. It is a small skirmish, and I want to say sci-fi, but they also strictly say that it's not sci-fantasy because it's more realistic sci-fi than it is, like 40K where you have like psychic abilities and spells and stuff like that. So
You know.
it's played on either a 2x2 or a 3x3 or a 4x4, depending on size. And it's like supposedly super, super deadly and super, super fast. Like games can last like an hour. And so I ordered the 2-player starter set. Got it at a good deal.
Short
Uh,
games are our best friend
yeah.
because that
Nothing.
means time for more games.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with long games. Don't get us wrong, but you know, if we can get a quick game in, so we could tell people, hey, this is a game is XYZ, more power, no problem.
Yeah.
Uh,
Speaking of games, when are we gonna play Dragonbane?
that's gonna be on hiatus for a little bit because
You got
somebody
distracted by household.
got distracted by household, but household kind of I've got household under wraps and I've got it going, so there's nothing there. But another game came up that I will probably have to have you in, and
Okay.
Mizzy and any other like little nerds that we're gonna
People.
do, because somebody got me the Goblin Quest book for holiday.
Ooh. Hells yeah.
Couldn't
For
imagine who that
that.
someone was.
Yeah.
We don't know any goblins. Nope.
No, never.
Nope. Nope.
Which is
In
funny.
this house, there are no goblins.
What's funny is about the whole book. There's different ways you can play it. You can play it as Goblin Quests, where you're goblins, or you could play it as, and it's a comedy game because you create a bunch of models, a bunch of characters, because they're all gonna die. It's not meant to be serious. It's not meant to do anything, but just be.
Kind of like Kobolds Ate My Babies.
Yes, very much in that genre of thing. Because
Okay.
they have one where you play like, um, I'm in Mingo Toyez's like third cousin, brother, sister, aunt type thing,
That's hilarious.
or you play Sean Bean in any of his roles in any of his movies where he dies constantly. um,
Yeah, that's the thing.
yeah. So and it's meant to be just a silly, fun game. So I will probably be running that as an online one, um, which is our year in review. Let's talk about RPGs. Our year in review for RPGs. This year I have been really intrigued by Household. For people who don't know, Household is a game you play like fairies, pixies, sprites, so on and so forth, in an abandoned house. And certain things are very, very deadly to you, aka cockroaches, spiders. It is a magical world per se, for the simple fact that there's like places that,
Fairies.
well, I mean, there's magic in contracts that people do, and then there's magic in the world and the house you live in, because there's like a whole city is on stairs, and like tons and tons of buildings are on these stairs and stuff. Um, but it's actually really good. The dice system is really easy. There's nothing hugely wrong with any of it. It's been pretty decent. I've been enjoying it. It's been really good for a bunch of them. I'm running. Mizzy is the longtime role player in that group.
That should tell you something.
Everybody else is their
We're
first.
all noobs.
Yeah, everybody else is their first time playing in an RPG. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so
But
like
they're all killing it, like massively
everybody's having a
knocking
lot of
it out of
fun.
the park.
Yeah, everybody's having a lot of fun. Everybody's doing a lot of the cool, a lot of good role playing. So, and their second Kickstarter went off this week for Household Volume 2, Outside of the House. And so I
Oh, that's
kickstarted.
right. They're
I am
adding the yard.
stupid excited
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, looks really good.
Tell
Uh,
tell him about the frog, Gonzo.
oh yeah, there's so in the world there's giant creatures that are almost like gods, that they have like superpowers in a way, and there's like a giant frog. And then they've added a pretty much an Atlantis in the world, and to get
Okay.
there you have to ride a giant fish's mouth all the way there.
That's kind of fun, not gonna lie.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in it. So like I said, my favorite and best RPG of 2024 is 100% Household. This thing has been really, really good. Um, Artwork is amazing, by the way. If you like artwork, this thing's artwork is incredibly awesome, unbelievably awesome. I was really, really surprised on it.
I'm
Um,
excited for you to get the minis.
yes, but that probably won't be till next year. Went late next year anyway.
Excited.
Yeah, but and then um, so I collect RPGs a lot. We know we do that, but my 2024 RPG type talk. Um, there's so many RPGs out there. Go find someone, get one, go play it. I highly recommend Household for any group, brand new or old. You will find a reason to like it. Nerd, what's your 2024 review for RPGs? Not just games, but things you've done also.
Um, I would say the Dagger Heart campaign that I've been playing in with Hobbies for Happiness on the Pyro Club. Um, it's been nice to play something that's not 5e. Like it, and also just it's a different setting. I've got a whole different group of people that I've been playing with. Um, and I'm really enjoying the system so far.
What type of system is it?
Uh, it mainly focuses on a D12. So
Oh,
you
that's
roll
right.
two D12s and you total the two dice plus whatever your modifier is, and then you roll for either you have two dice, one designated hope, one designated fear. So the fear gives it like points to the DM to use against you, and hope you can use to then like enhance rolls, which is kind of nice. But it's not like not everything is determined by a d20 roll, and like you've got different abilities depending on your class and race and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm playing a frogfolk bard, but it's a bit different than the bards that I've played in the past. So I don't know, I'm enjoying it. So I'm curious to see now that it's officially been released, because they keep making changes and updates to different classes, uh, what other kind of stuff they may come out with for it. So, yay. Mizzy?
I gotta go with what Gonzo said. Household is my top pick for the year. It's really easy. It's really fun to get into. You know, with whether you have their proprietary dice or not, it's super easy. You just look for pairs or sets of matches. So like if you have just a regular D6, you roll X amount of dice, and you say, okay, I've got 2 2s, I've got 3 4s, stuff like that. Which is really easy to
Figure out.
yeah. So
Oh, that's the other thing with Dagger Heart. Crits are doubles since you're rolling two dice. It does like even if you roll two nat ones, that's still considered a crit.
interesting.
Yeah.
So is it still a crit fail?
No, it's a crit
Nice.
because it's doubles.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. But yeah, I'm still having a ton of fun with Nerd's campaign and for our Black Sheep game.
We're over a year in.
Our longest running RPG I've been a part of. Nerd, be proud of
Yay!
yourself. But yeah,
I kept you occupied this long. Huzzah!
yes. And now you're turning me into something important.
Yes.
Turning us all into something important is just the schemes.
Except for maybe Gonzo.
Gonzo doesn't need to be anything important.
He's just a fucking merchant. He doesn't know shit.
Nope.
Exactly.
Gonzo doesn't
So
know
next
shit.
session's gonna be fun though. I loved having Slade's character
Oh,
in last
absolutely.
session. Oh my god.
I love that you get to bring in all these different characters, even though they're not like permanent fixtures. They're
Mhm.
still there.
Yeah.
That's one of the good things about online, because you can go, hey, I'm going to bring, hey, can you come in and play this NPC real quick? Yes. Where if you were to do this, as
in person.
in person, be like, you
Yeah,
wouldn't
there's
get into
no
it
way
much.
I would get the cast that I have if we were doing this in person. Because
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean, heck,
no.
I've got a player that lives in France and plays at like 3 a.m. for us or
Correct.
for him. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's I'm really enjoying getting to torment you guys with different NPCs.
Give us the traumaturgy.
Cast dramaturgy. Yeah. Oh, I've also started playing Pathfinder 1.0 again for the first time in like over a decade. So that's been an absolute blast as well. I'm playing in a bi-weekly game with 2 other players, and it's nice to have a small group. I think this is the smallest group I've ever played in. And just the shenanigans we get up to. Ridiculous. So, yeah. I still need my hand held a bit, building characters and trying to figure out if things here or there are leveling up, just because there's so many things involved with it. Um, Coming from 5e, like I played Pathfinder First Edition 10, 12 years ago for 5 years, and then took a break, started playing 5e, then now I'm playing Pathfinder again, and I still very much enjoy it, even if it's kind of hard.
Speaking of world building and NPCs and stuff, something that I really liked doing with our friend D is helping them do their world building by doing a series of one shots.
Yes, that
That
was a great idea.
Yes. That way you still get a chance to play a game, but you're not necessarily committed for the long term.
Yeah, you're still
If you just
involved
want to get a
in
quick
the
game in,
world
then yeah.
building side of it and creation. Yeah, that was a fun, unique way of doing things, and I enjoyed it greatly.
Yes.
All right. So let's go with miniatures. Not necessarily miniature games, but miniatures we've built, paint, what we've done, how things are looking. It can be miniature games also. And I know because Nerd doesn't play a lot of miniature games, if any,
I do not.
but you do paint a lot of miniatures, and you can talk about your favorite miniatures or favorite 3D printers, miniatures, or whatever that you can get on that fact. But we'll start with game first. Um, my favorite 3D game of the year, um, I gotta go with Warcrow. I I'm really digging Warcrow right now. Don't get me wrong, I still love my other games. There's nothing wrong with my other games, blah blah blah. But Warcrow for me is really scratching the itch that I like. Um, just for the simple fact that it's smaller table size, smaller models, um, and I feel like I'm doing more. And I'm not losing the game in, round 2 or round 3 or, whatever. I get to play more. I do have some other games coming out that I'm going to be testing out. Like I said, we're going to redo the rules for Infinity and such, but definitely I'm really enjoying Warcrow a lot. type thing. So, Mizzy?
I gotta echo you. Warcrow has got my attention, like dead set on it. It's really easy to grasp, but it's still unique enough that it still gives that little bit of complexity that you have to figure it out, or like placing your models when there's different deployments. You don't necessarily have to do on the table's edge, you can do on the side type thing. Not screw yourself over, like, some people did. Um Plus Orc Smashy Boys. Yes. Give me all of the Orc Smashy Boys. Which
Yes.
or Orc Smashy Girls, because I do have one of those currently that I need to paint up. Her name is Lotta, and she has a cat of nine tails.
Nice.
I heard you
Cute
got a
cat.
really cool model as a gift too this weekend.
Which one? I got a bunch of them.
Well, from your mini exchange.
Oh yeah. I did. So our good friend Warbudgies
Ooh.
gave me this wonderful, most fantastic rendition of Allwart the Ice Bear, but instead made him a panda bear.
I love that.
He's so cute. I love him. Which is making it really hard for me to not take him in my list, Gonzo. Because now I have 2 of him and I want to show him off. But also, damn it, he's expensive. But yes, I got that, which super excited for. And they're just beautiful models.
They're good models.
Yeah.
And some of the sculpts do have pretty bad mold lines, but it's also not terrible to clean them up either. So there's that.
I'm really
Do with
looking
that what you
forward to
will.
what they're going to do more with it because, like I says, we only have 2 factions and there's a total of 6.
Mm-hmm. You're definitely waiting on your elves.
Oh, 100% I'm waiting for my elves.
You're excited for them elves. Which,
I'm
fair.
ready for them. But yeah, that's something I'm just really looking forward to. The game has been really good. It's a lot of fun. It's quick and easy. It's my miniature game of the year.
It's narrative driven, not necessarily competitive, which is a big selling point for me. Because I don't like competitive pressure. I just want to cause shenanigans and be a heathen.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll get to the other aspect of that in just a little bit, but nerd, what miniatures have you been looking at? Is there like a miniature company, 3D printer?
Yeah, there is a company called Dragon Trappers Lodge, which are also the new company sponsoring Resin Beast at Adepticon. They've I've been a fan of their models for quite a bit. This was my first time getting to paint one of their dragons this year, which I absolutely adored. It was a gorgeous model to paint, super detailed. It took me about a month to do just for the level of detail and the number of scales on it. But it's probably one of the best pieces I've done yet. And I am very excited because they're also allowing you to scale up models to find something to paint for 2026. I'm looking at the scrap metal goblin or the scrap goblin or the goblin scrap dragon. There we go. I can dose words.
Toad's
Um,
words.
yeah, totally words. I was debating between that or the mushroom dragon and decided to go with the one covered in goblins because me. But they also came out with an entire set one of the months this year of all stuff designed by children. So they took children's drawings to had professional artists render them and then they made models out of them.
I remember seeing
And they
that.
are fantastic. Like one of them is a cat bus made of bread. I also have a rose beholder, some catacorns, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah, it was a benefit for, I think, a charity as well.
Which I figured it would since they were taking artwork from children.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been aware of Dragon Trappers Lodge, but these were the most models of theirs that I had painted. And I just absolutely adored it.
That's
So,
wonderful.
yeah, and I'm excited. Hold on, let me get the box out. I am going to be playing my first miniatures game and painting. I got a Rumble Slam team for my birthday that is all cats, if any, that which should surprise no one. This is the 1001 Fights Rumble Slam team. So yeah, I am very excited for this one. Rumble Slam is a tabletop wrestling game that even like a 6 or 7 year old can learn how to play. So I'm here for it.
We love easy games.
Yes.
Which
And
that seems to be the year of, I don't want to say easy games, but
More
games.
beginner friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's been like a common theme that I've been seeing. Because I mean, so while Trench Crusade is not a family-friendly game, the rules are very, very simple. The Blackout game rules are very simple. I mean, there's been a lot of this, I wouldn't say rules are very simple, but rules that are much easier to understand and getting people into play, which I'm all for.
Yeah. Same.
make it accessible. Let's go.
Yeah, make it accessible. Doesn't have to be complicated, and also make it affordable. That's kind of the thing that I've noticed too. Is I mean, getting an army and you have to spend $500, $600 for it. That's kind of the thing of the past. People don't have the money for that anymore. Not in
It's
our
almost like
economy.
we've got more important things.
Or
Like food.
yeah,
And rent.
Yeah.
Or mortgages.
Whole thing.
Yeah, like my Rumble Slam team, like it's a 5-person team. You can mix and match from different factions. Like it's just a certain, like it's a dollar value of the character itself. Like whether they're like a $200 or a $300 character, like that determines your team. And it was, I think I paid $40 with taxes for this set. So like it's not expensive. Um they're fun models to paint. They've got a ton of pop culture like comedy characters. Um like just renamed pop culture characters. It's so fun. TT Combat knocked it out of the park, and they came out with a bunch of like they've got one, instead of the Nature Boy, they've got the Naturalist.
oh yeah.
Or instead of Mick Foley, we've got I think it's Mr. Sacco. Like it's just a lot of fun and very tongue in cheek, and I appreciate that it does not take itself too seriously.
Fun in our games.
Yeah.
Not everything has to be serious.
Nope.
Super serial, you guys.
Okay.
What about games we're looking forward to coming out next year?
So I'm definitely looking forward to the new Warcrow army. Hopefully the elves are next. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an elf and dwarf 2-player starter set. Possible. Because I want the elves more than anything. We've got definitely Trench Crusade is coming out because it is technically still in beta and it's not, there yet. So that's on there. I don't see anything crazy coming out. War Machine's going to have more stuff. Of course, 40K is going to keep pumping things out. I don't see any like major games coming out really. Um, I just don't see it. I see that it's just going to be, you know, continuation of what everybody else is doing now.
Fair.
Um,
What about New Year's resolutions? Because we're coming up on that time where we might want to switch over to
oh, I did want to cover something else before we get to that.
Oh,
Mizzy and I were talking, and we were talking about going to Adepticon, and we started pricing, our games. And this is where I was telling her that, while we do want to play a bunch of stuff, we looked at it, and don't get me wrong, I have money that I can spend, but I'm like, damn, I don't even want to spend that much money on, playing games because we originally we wanted to do um the 5v5 of
Looking at Judgment.
Judgment, one narrative event and one Workrow event. And it was like 30, 30, 20. And I was like, damn. I mean, almost
Gonzo didn't
$100.
want to spend it. I don't have the money to spend on that.
And so I was just
valid.
like,
I am
ugh.
falling on a budget, my friends.
Yeah.
But we did find that it's more cost effective to sign up for narrative events. So like I think our plan is to do 2 War Machine events and then the Warcrow.
Yeah, we're gonna do the Warcrow event and then a two of the narrative events if we can get in them because we
Yeah.
are just I mean, it's just so much. It was so expensive. I mean, the the badge for to get the swag bag is increased. And so it just got way more expensive and I was really I mean, and it's got to. That's the nature of the beast with this convention scenes now. It's just going
Mhm.
to cost more because things are going to cost more. There's nothing you can do about it. Um but I foresee that people are going to start like somebody's going to go, I'm going to play only the 40K event. That's it. I'm going to play that all weekend, no matter what. People are going to do like, I'm going to play a small narrative event because it's only like $10. And then probably a big event. Like our big event is going to be Warcrow. And then we're
That
going to
makes sense.
play 2 narrative events of War Machine. And they're going to be smaller games, but we know that what's interesting is both of them are narrative games. The 250 Warcrow is a narrative game, and the 2 narrative War Machines, of course, are narrative. And there's going to be guaranteed 4+ hours of gameplay no matter what,
Mhm.
because they're not going to do cut to tops or cut to anything. So it's going to be there. And I don't have a problem if I know I'm going to be spending at least 4 hours playing, not 2 hours playing, 30 minutes playing, 30 minutes playing, and waiting between all that time to play a game because it's a tournament. I don't have
Also
the
don't have
time
to
for that.
worry about there being buys.
Yeah, or a buy, which would be even worse because at some tournaments, if someone loses and they were expecting to go all the way, they just drop automatically because they're like, I'm not going to win. I can't get the points. I'm out. So that's just, it's the nature of the beast. We got it. We understand. Not a big deal. But when I have to pay money, I'm going to pay, you know, what I want type thing to get the maximum amount of money I want out of the event. So, New Year's resolutions. So, one of the things that, I was thinking about this is we always make them, we always break them, but we always try to keep them type
Yep.
thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're called resolutions for a reason. Um, and one of the things that I was thinking about is I do want to paint more miniatures, but I also want to play more miniature games. I want to play more games. I don't
Yeah.
care, and that's kind of reason why what Mizzy and I have been talking about is, you know, long drawn out games. If we have a whole day to do that, sure, but I don't want to spend a whole day playing one game for the most part. It's got to be a
That's fine.
very good game
Yeah.
type thing. I mean, because
Or learning a game. Like
Yeah.
I can see taking all day. Like
Yeah, it was
I
different.
learned how to play Witcher the Old World this summer and spent 8 hours playing it because we were all learning.
Yeah, that's different. But I mean, I, for me to like go to the game store and get a game in, if I'm going to get like one game in, it better be a really, really good game and a lot of fun. And while I know that, GW is the ruler and the marketer and all the stuff that's going on right now, I don't have the money for GW games anymore. And I don't want to spend the money on GW games.
I don't blame you.
The one, it costs so much, and two, there's just the rules change too quickly, in my opinion. So I would rather, stick with stuff. Take a 1 and 2 games. Ooh, who sent what?
Jacket 16 Summer Marath Kitty.
Hey, Summer.
Hey,
Thanks
Summer.
for
Thanks for the resub.
I will see Summer tomorrow, and she is excited about it.
Does Summer miss you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Probably could have missed you because she'd have to do a bunch of extra work at work.
She's fine.
But so I want to play more games, and with playing on a 4x4, not bad. I can make a 4x4 work in a house.
In my house.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, I've got my own terrain. I've got my own mats now. I can do it. Anything played on like a 4x6? Nope. Anything played on a 3x3? Even better.
Gonna have to start making our own memes about this stuff.
So, but I do definitely want to play. I want to play more. And I am going to try to curb my buying of miniatures because, I mean, I can 3D print most anything I want, but I don't need to buy a bunch of stuff where I already have it, or I don't need a fourth War Machine army. I'm going to be selling. I'm actually going to be doing a purging of my armies and my stuff starting tomorrow. Boxing stuff off and shipping it to people, or just throwing some of it away. So, because I don't want to spend the money to ship it, type thing.
Yeet.
My resolution is to not buy any minis unless it's the Dragon for Adepticon. No, that doesn't mean you're allowed to send me a ton of minis, and I know you're already going to, so I can't stop you. I already know those are coming, so I've kind of sort of planned for that, but I really need to redo my organization so that I have room to store all the minis safely. My other resolution is to get my frickin' studio insulated. So that, I don't die of cold exposure.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, nerd. We kind of like you alive and breathing and whatnot,
Eh.
Warm bodies are more fun.
That's kind of.
That's
Yeah, I
morbid,
did.
but I love it.
I didn't want to go there. But
I didn't say creepy, I said morbid.
Yes, Frankie, no nerd sickles allowed.
Yes,
Exactly.
Frankie, love it.
okay, what else, nerd?
Also, teach myself how to use my airbrush.
Gotcha.
And learn NMM, non-metallic metal, and slap chop.
Okay.
Slap chop will be the easy one.
I can help you with the slap chop. I cannot help you with a non-metallic metal.
Yeah.
Me, Gonzo. Thank you.
Do what?
She already asked me for help with the slap chop. Because my expertise is limited, but I can do it.
Yep. I was gonna say we both have the same generation of speed paints, so that'll help.
True. Because I got both. Which, personally, again, I prefer the 1.0 over the 2.0, but I love the range of color that the 2.0 has, so
Yee.
things and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm not allowed to buy any minis. I'm not allowed to buy any new paint. That doesn't mean people can't gift me stuff. I will just encourage them not to.
And some of us will just completely ignore you and send you all the minis anyway.
What?
Yeah, Gonzo.
I'm only sending you like 15, so just deal with it.
What? What?
He did say a heavy box.
You're
I don't know how many it is.
killing me, Smalls.
It's okay. He showed up to my house with a battle box, the starter box, and the army expansion of Crix, plus more Crow. What else? Gonzo, what else did you show up to my house with? A new set of dice, which I was super excited about.
Okay, I'm never gonna say no to new dice. Let's not get too carried away here.
No, now I don't know how many models I'm sending you. I know that I'm sending you some heavy stuff, but that's just
Yeah.
because of what it is.
Hefty boys. Exactly.
Exactly.
Shadow Sword.
More nerd rocks. Click clack math rocks.
Especially the ones with the liquid cores in them. My new ones I got have the
that's-
eyeballs in them.
That
They're
was
wonderful.
just the sweet irony that the set that you got was the set that I had sent to Dan like that day or the day before. I was like, look
That's
at these
hilarious.
pretties. Oh, Mizzy got those. Nice.
Yeah. Lizzie found them on Amazon and put them on the wish list. And said, "Here."
Yeah, just like my my rolling tray says, clickety clackety, I roll attackety.
Especially with the D4s that are sharp as shit. We'll
Mhm.
stab.
Oh yeah, handmade D4s are brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the resin cast ones are stupid. They
But
hurt.
they're wonderful. They're
Oh, yeah.
beautiful, though.
I don't disagree. They are the pretties. They are just, dangerous.
Danger pretty.
Ugh. What time is it?
It's 3 till, so we should probably switch to the media section.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop painting. Clean my brush off.
Gotta cut to the media section early. No, we're not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just had a lot to talk about.
Let's get distracted? Never.
No. ADH goblins, never. Media section. We have a lot to talk about. For the people who don't know, we've been off for about 2 weeks, and we have a ton of talking to do. I will start off first, and it's something that Mizzy and I can both talk about. She hasn't caught up yet, but Skeleton Crew.
I am only one episode behind, thank you.
Yeah, but this is the new Star Wars TV show. It is Goonies in space. That's pretty much with a twist of Treasure Planet. Ratings are good on it. Everybody says it. It's not breaking into the top 10 on a lot of things, but people that are watching it are liking it. So it's just good TV. It's good Star Wars TV at that. This last episode was really good. I'm surprised you haven't watched it. You're going to have to take a 30-minute break and go watch it so we can talk about it, Mizzy, because there's a couple of scenes in there and I was like getting giddy and everything. And I was like, oh, shit. So I really like it.
I still have not watched any of it yet.
Do you have Disney Plus? Or do you have
Yes,
Disney? Okay.
I was getting caught up on finally finishing Agatha.
Okay.
Which we'll get to.
But
we will accept that.
I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of good characters. It's expanding the universe of Star Wars. Yes, it's kind of geared towards the younger audience, but there are some adult jokes in there. So
Oh yeah.
I'm having a blast with it so far. I'm loving it.
SM33 is my favorite, and I will not be taking any arguments on that.
I see myself so much in Whim, but I'll tell you right now, Neil, you got to protect
Is a
Neil.
precious baby.
Yes. The episode before that with him throwing rocks, yeah, yeah. I
My
could see
heart.
I could see Neil turning into a Jedi
Oh yeah, totally.
with the way he acts. So loving it. No big deal. Keep watching it. I'll wait for the season finale. Mizzy.
Did not procrastinate, and I finished Dragon Prince the day it came out.
Hey, you and I can talk about that together then.
I did what I said I was gonna do. I watched it without procrastinating. Eat
I'm
it.
proud of you.
Um,
Oh my god, the feels. Oh,
there are like 3 film moments in there, and one of them is a happy one, and the other 2 are kind of sad. You get
especially
kind of
that
shocked
last episode.
at the last
Oh,
episode. Yeah. Um, I did feel like the season was kind of rushed when it got to the end.
yeah.
But they leave it very open ended because they're like, oh, in 7 years, this could happen. So in 7 years, we may see another season of it.
Which honestly, give me more.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is the series finale,
Yep.
so it is over and done for the most part. But
I
they
need more of it.
said they can go back to it. It would be good if they did something like, an Avatar esque, where it's not you can come back and it's 7 years later, not a week later type
Yeah.
thing. And so the characters are grown up, the characters are more adult, and it could be having a more adult program with a little bit of twist.
I can see that for sure. Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
I enjoyed it. I think I love the world. I'm waiting for Nerd to run a Dragon Prince campaign.
Why me?
Because you're the one
I
that was talking
won't.
of it.
Okay, but I need to actually watch the last 2 seasons, which means I need Netflix. So you're gonna have to wait.
We can arrange something.
Yeah, I'm
We
sure.
can
Like,
make this work.
Do we need to have a watch party?
you probably need to have a
Yes.
watch party. Mizzy's got the account; she can watch party it with you. So, I enjoyed Dragon Prince. I thought the ending was kind of rushed. Even though they had time to finish, they didn't plan it out correctly. Um,
Mm.
I'm going with Shadow Sword on this too. Even though it was kind of rushed, it still was there and still happened and it was still good. Um, I guess I want to play in the role playing game. I want to do that. So overall, the entire series, I give it 1 to 1.5.
I'm gonna be a bit more forgiving and give it a 0.5 because, oh my god, I have never watched something that I loved more.
Nerd, your first one.
Let's see. My first one, let's start with Agatha All Along. I finally finished the
About
series.
time.
Thank you, Frankie, for helping me with that. And yeah, totally worth it. Absolutely amazing. I'm okay with it just being the single season. Catherine Hahn is a gem. Patty LuPone is a legend,
Oh,
and Aubrey Plaza's never not hot. So, uh, yeah, um, I very much enjoyed it. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think for a one-off series, it did really well.
They're thinking about
Like,
doing it a second or bringing Agatha into the MCU movies officially.
ooh, I'm okay with this because I have yeah, I don't know how well the series did
It did
overall.
good overall.
Okay. Okay. Cuz yeah, I watched it super late, but still worth it. I think my favorite episode was the one where they all had to be part of a band, and they have Patti LuPone, who's like the most musically talented of all of them, just playing things like cymbals and a tambourine and stuff like that. Like they gave her the simplest instruments. Um, and they just every time they cut to her character, she's got a different instrument. Like it was just a hell of a lot of fun. I give it like a half, especially for a current Marvel series. It's up there. It's not as good as Loki, but it's up there in terms of my overall enjoyment.
For sure.
Gonzo?
My next one. Um, let's go with something that actually kind of hits home. This weekend I watched most of the TV series, The Madness. It's on Netflix. It's a story about a guy that is like a news commentator, and they're trying to frame him for something, and it's about him dodging the framing and then dodging being trying to get hit, and he's being framed by mega corporations that has control over the world and world politics and world money, and and it's about CEOs doing all this stuff to make a profit, denying people things and so on and so forth. And it hit really home because this is not a spoiler. They say in the thing, they start offing CEOs of companies. um
Oh,
yeah.
well, if that isn't topical.
Yeah, and this came out before that happened, and it's a really good spy man on the run type series type thing. I
Who's in
really
it?
enjoyed it. It's on Netflix, called The Madness.
No, who is in it?
Oh, actually, I didn't even recognize anybody. It's a lot of
Oh,
let me see. Um, yeah, it was a TV miniseries. It's only 8 episodes. Um,
okay.
type thing. John Ortiz, Thaddeus, AJ Mixon. It's just a variety, a lot of not a huge named actors and actresses, but
I'm okay with this.
yeah, it was good. Was it great? No, not really. But was it an interesting, man on the run mystery novel type thing that kind of hit home with our current climate? Yep. And it kind of fucked me. I'd give it like a 2 to 2.5 space herpes. Not bad, but it had some flaws. Mizzy?
Uh, oh, I finally got to finish Chaos. It's on Netflix. It's Greek Gods and Goddesses. Some of it's really fucked up. But oh, it was so good too. I'm sad that we're not gonna get any more of it because it got canceled already.
Yep.
But
Netflix.
I know. But I do think that it's well worth the watch. And how they ended it, I'm not mad about it.
Okay.
So I'd give it probably a 1.5. But you got Jeff Goldblum as Zeus.
What?
Uh-huh.
This is on
Uh-huh.
Netflix, of course, isn't it?
Yes, it's on
Yeah.
Netflix.
This is
But
anyway.
so
Go ahead.
Dionysus is played by a really cool guy. But the star of the show is Dennis. He's a little kitten that Dionysus kind of adopts. And
Kitten?
it's so fucking cute, named Dennis. It's all part of the story. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a kitten named Dennis and is adorable. And also I got my heart broke at the last episode because of Dennis. And fuck Zeus. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, Zeus does a lot of that already. So
Not in the fun way. No. But yeah, so I give it about 1.5 ish. Definitely worth a watch. especially if you're into Greek gods and goddesses and all that mythology stuff, and you like seeing people do badass stuff. Nerd needs to get Netflix.
I'll work on it. I got a budget for Adepticon first.
Nerd, what's yours?
I finally watched seasons 1 and 2 of Hell of a Boss. Talk about an emotional roller coaster. Um, it was wonderful. I can't believe that it took me like 2 or 3 episodes to realize that the voice of one of the main characters is also Zim, Richard Horowitz from Invader Zim. I just like, oh, that guy's doing a really good Richard Horowitz impression. No, it's actually Richard Horowitz.
How long did it
I
take you to realize Kesha was a voice in there?
Oh, not very long at all.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I was just like, that sounds like Kesha. Nope, it's totally Kesha. I was also started looking things up at that point, so I kind of cheated. But I loved it. Why am I completely blanking on the Owlins character?
Stolas.
Hmm?
Stolas?
Stolas, yes. Stolas is my favorite. He is Bay.
I can see that.
Also, the Asmodeus episode just kills.
Chef's kiss.
But yeah, no, I absolutely adored it as being something completely separate from Hazbin Hotel, but set in the same universe. I very much enjoyed it and look forward to the next season whenever that comes out. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 0. It was fantastic. It was entertaining. It was an emotional roller coaster. It hits you right in the feels. It's wonderfully animated. I mean, what's to complain about?
My next one is I did get to finish Only Murders in the Building, which is the
Hmm?
Steve Martin, Martin Short, uh, show, and it's just a good show. I mean, the writing's good, acting's good. There's some good comedy sets in there. Good comedy going. Um, I hope that either this season coming up or the season after that it's done because I think it's going to start jumping the shark. I think it's going to be getting just how many times can you have someone die in the apartment complex and people stick around, or
Right?
it's there's got to be an end somewhere, which is not a big deal. End it on a good note, in my opinion. End it on a high. But this last season was pretty decent. A lot of good characters, a lot of good actors and actresses in there. Um, I thought it was great. Um, Good lines, good funny stuff. This season, I give it about a 1. Nothing wrong with it. Just good, solid TV. If you got it, go watch it. It's pretty good, especially if you like, Who Done It series.
I do.
There,
I've been catching periodic episodes when my roommate's been watching it. So
yeah,
I loved Meryl Streep's cameo.
yes, she's in this one also. She's in the next season also.
Nice.
So, but yeah, Mizzy.
Last one because I'm a slut. Well, no, I can't say not my last one, but my next to last one is a show that you told us about on Amazon called Secret Level,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
that's on my list too.
The first episode is all about D&D, which is awesome. But
That's why everybody tells me I need to watch that one.
I was very confused up until the very end because it just jumps right into it. No introduction, nothing. And I'm just like, wait, what? I missed something here. But it was cool. Apparently I didn't because it wasn't there. But it was cool. So I will say that. And then each episode follows different games. And there was even a Warhammer one?
Yeah, there's a Warhammer. The Warhammer was really good. The D&D one was good. The very last one was good. It was about PlayStation. The Pac-Man one is fucked up.
So weird.
Yeah,
I
the
can
Pac-Man.
only imagine.
No, you don't even think it's Pac-Man until the very end. They tell you it's Pac-Man, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
question
it's the same
everything.
people. It's the same people who created Love, Death, and Robots, but now they're doing it for video games
And board games and stuff like
and
that.
board games. Yeah,
Yeah, miniature
Yeah.
games.
games,
But yeah,
not.
the D&D one was really, really good. I really liked that one a lot. That one's my favorite one out of all of them. But it wasn't bad. It's I don't think it's near the level of Love, Death, and Robots because it does hit kind of a nostalgia type thing because it's hitting on things that you've already done and liked. Um, but it's actually really good. I thought it was good, just not to the level of Love, Death, and Robots. It did get renewed for another season, so we'll get another season of it. Hopefully, we'll get new games and different games type thing. Um, Ryan Tapp says that's because the Pac-Man was teasing a weird new Pac-Man game that they just didn't talk about for some reason. I don't know, Ben. You watch that Pac-Man one and you're like, the fuck is
Hey,
this?
Rye. What's up?
Um,
Yeah.
It starts out what the fuck and it ends what the actual fuck.
yeah. But overall, I mean,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
fair.
good. I would say it's probably like a 1.5. Not bad, but
It's background noise, but also if you want to pay attention, you can.
yeah.
You know,
I'd
like
say
if
I'd
you're
say the
building, if
ones
you're
to
building
watch.
terrain.
I say the ones to watch is definitely the D&D one and the 40K one are the must-watch ones.
Okay.
I really like the one with the bike.
That's the last one.
Okay.
That's the PlayStation one, which was actually pretty good too. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will definitely have to check it out. I will add it to the list of things to watch. I already have an anime list that I'm building, so.
All right, nerd, you're
Uh,
next.
all right. So, my best friend sat me down and had me watch her favorite horror movies a few weeks ago. The first being Bride of Chucky, which I have actively avoided any Child's Play or Chucky movies for decades now. Because I hate Chucky. However, this one was not at all trying to take itself seriously. It was just so campy and fun and ridiculous that you couldn't help but laugh. As but by no means is it a good movie. um it's that early 2000s camp or late 90s. When did that come out? Hold on. Came out in 1998. Wow. Yeah, so late 90s campiness. Um yeah, it was it is the first Child's Play movie I have ever watched. It will probably be the last. Uh but it I survived. I'm gonna give it like a 2.5 to 3 because it's not trying to be good, but it's not trying to take itself so seriously that it just turned out bad. So, all right, Gonzo.
Quick,
Um,
I'm gonna give you a 0, Miss Space Serpy, for your bravery in watching it in the first place. Good job,
Thank
nerd.
you.
Okay,
I'm
Gonzo.
I'm proud of me too.
so this last week, Paramount or whatever it is, finally got the final season of Ghost UK version. Um, I've been waiting for like over a year, maybe 2 years for this final season to come out because I watched season 1 and 2, and then 3, and then there's a break between 2 and 3, and then between 3 and 4, and 4 was going to be the last season for Ghost UK, and sat and watched all of them, and it was only like 8 episodes, and they always do a Christmas episode, and everything else, but they did end it. They did give an ending to the series, which is good. It wasn't like it was on a cliffhanger and whatever, and it just went. Um, but it didn't wrap up all the stories because it didn't need to. It didn't, you know, give an ending to all the characters. It just gave an ending to the cast.
Ah.
So all the cast got an ending, an appropriate ending, because I mean, what's going on and everything. There's like this big thing that's been building up through the entire series and such, and it came to an end. Um, I'm glad it ended because I think you can only do so many of these when it's just the same thing over and over and over and over, and that's what I feel it's like going to happen with the American version of Ghost. Is just they're going to drag it out until it's finally like, yeah, we're done because everybody's tired of seeing the same shit. Because the American version is already past its episodes that the UK was, um,
Yeah, that tracks.
big time, and it's crazy. Um, but I mean, it was actually pretty good. I thought it was fun. The characters were fun. There's some characters that you really feel for and you really like, and ones you want good things to happen, but they don't, because that's just kind of how it is. Yeah, so the Ghost UK version is 35 episodes, and it was from 2019 to 2023. And Ghost, the American version, is 2021 to today, and it's at 60 episodes.
Oh wow.
So it's like almost doubled what it is, and they're both good. The UK version just has its own little quirks and feels to it compared to the American version. But for the UK version, I thought it was good. It was good fun. A lot of good characters, a lot of good cast, a lot of funny things, a lot of silly things, a lot of heartfelt things. Actually, kind of makes you think about death and you know getting things done, so on and so forth. But it was good. Overall, I would give it 1.5 space herpes.
Not bad.
No, no. Mizzy?
One. It's very important. So as everyone knows, I've been playing copious amounts of Final Fantasy, but I decided to take a break from the main storyline, and I started the most fantastic side quest ever, uh, as part of the Manderville quests. Um, I absolutely adore these guys so much. So they've got a little dance and they've got a song, and I need more zombies like this.
Dancing zombies.
I need dancing zombies. Vander, Vander,
Love
Vander,
it.
Van. Great. Like, I don't dance, but I want to do this dance because it's just so catchy and fun, and I love it. And it is the joy that I needed in my life, and a nice cleanse from all the serious story that they've been giving me. So 0 space herpes for the Manderville quest line, even though I'm not totally finished with it yet. I just know that I'm gonna love it. Nerd?
All right. The next one, we're gonna go on a more serious note. I watched the movie Midsummer.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a trip. Um, there's a lot with that movie to unpack, whether it's grief from loss of family or complete dissociation to being gaslit. Like there's a lot to unpack with this movie. Um, I probably would have liked it more if I didn't identify with the main character so hard during certain parts of it, but it was an absolutely stunning movie. I know that it's a really popular one, but it's probably not one that I'll watch again just because of the emotional roller coaster that it is. Um, but it's what is considered bright horror because it's a bright setting as opposed to a dark setting. But like the sets, the costumes, like just top notch for another A24 movie. Um, and I give it like half to one space herpy. Like it is definitely up there in terms of like artistically a stunning movie. Story wise, not so much for me. Gonzo?
Um, Another show ended this week for me, and that is Lower Decks. Um, the series finale of Lower Decks happened, and it got left open also. for spinoffs because they said that they're done with the Lower Decks crew, but there is enough to do spinoffs, which I'm like, okay, cool. Will they do it? Well, we have no clue. Lower Decks as a whole, um, I still think season one is the best season because it was really into the comedy and it kind of got a little serious as it went along. Nothing wrong with it, but I enjoyed it more as a big comedy show, and I really, really liked the first season out of everything because it was about the people that did the shit job around, the spaceships and such. But I enjoyed it overall. Anytime I can get a good Star Trek series in there, I'll like it, even if it is comedy and silly and dorky and everything. So, um, if you haven't finished it out, go and finish it out. They do give it an ending, and but they do leave it open for spin-offs type thing, which is okay. But overall, I'd give it probably 1.5. Also, I mean, it was pretty decent as an overall series, I should say now. Mizzy,
I got nothing.
what?
I'm a slacker.
Nerd?
I've been busy.
I did my annual viewing of the movie Krampus, which is one of my favorite holiday movies. Um, I this again, it's one of those that doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think that's to its benefit. Um, it's got a bunch of comedy actors in it, like Adam Scott and oh god, I can never remember his name. Uh, he one of the guys from Anchorman is in it, but it's about a family and all of their dysfunctional stuff. But like in terms of the monsters, I have to give it to the monsters and the creature creation for this. It has some of the wackiest stuff that I have ever seen in a horror movie, and I absolutely adored it. So I give this one 0 space herpes for the 2015 Krampus.
Cool. One of my last ones was a kind of a surprise hit for me. I was working on some stuff, and of course, I was, just putting something on, and it's on Netflix, and it's called a movie called Carry On. Carry
Okay.
On is a story about it's a TSA agent that gets roped into doing something illegal to let something go through the scanners and ignore it when it goes through. It reminded me of a good Die Hard movie where he knows who the bad guys are, but he has to stop the bad guys and he has to do everything he can to do it because if he doesn't, they'll kill his friends or family or whatever and type
Hmm.
thing. It was a good action flick. It was actually pretty good. I was very impressed. Um, and it kind of fits that genre of Christmas Die Hard, is the best way to put it. Um, uh, Characters were fine. Nothing wrong with the characters. Actors and actresses were fine. Um, so I mean, overall, it was a solid action flick. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Um, Definitely, a surprise hit because a lot of Netflix stuff, movies or whatever, are kind of meh or blah or whatever. So
Hmm.
solid. This one gets like a half space RP for me. It was
Wow.
really really good. I was pleasantly surprised and very happy about it. So I recommend it. Nerd or Miz, you got anything else?
Mizzy is out, but I got one last one. I watched Party Monster, which stars. So I watched a non-holiday Macaulay Culkin movie. Uh, it again another like trip of a movie. This is about club kids in the 90s, and it's based on a true story. And it stars Macaulay Culkin and Seth Green, and it's about drug-addled club kids and like in LA in the 90s, and like it's such a different role for Macaulay Culkin that I actually really enjoyed it. Again, it's one of those I don't know that I'll watch multiple times, but it was worth watching at least the once. Um and Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it, just for the acting alone and just how ridiculous and over the top the characters were, but yet believable. I'm gonna give it one space herpy.
I have one last one, and it's not even a review yet. Squid Game season 2 started. Um, and it started up, and I've only gotten like 3 episodes in. Um, not entirely impressed by it, but episode 3 finally starts kicking in. Pretty much this season is him going and trying to find out who the people are, the continuation of the story. Find out who they are, stopping them, blah blah blah. So like I said, I'm only 3 episodes in, got a ways to go. They're hour-long episodes, so I'm watching them bit by bit type thing. So I will let you know a full review once I'm done. It'll be spoiler free, of course, but we'll have to just wait and see. I'm enjoying it so far, so we'll have to wait. And
That
guess
brings
what?
us to 8:30.
It is, and it's actually 8:31. We went over by a minute. Shit.
Damn it, Gonzo.
Gosh. Oh no.
Hey guys, just to let y'all know, we'll be back next year, of course. Well, we plan on doing not always Wednesdays nights are not always going to be a paint hangout night. There could be playing video games. Mizzy and I could be, go doing stuff with Final Fantasy. Could be miniatures. We're going to try to do more battle discussions of us playing games and giving our thoughts on that. We'll definitely do our Sunday stuff still like normal. Also, if you're following our Facebook or following our webpage, we have quite a few podcasts underneath that are different things. We just picked up a podcast that's based on MCP Across the Bifrost, which is a good friend of mine, Norbert, and his team over in the UK, where it's super big over there. And he's like one of the big head honchos about everything about it. And we still have all the other podcasts on there talking about all different things. You'll see ours up on there tonight, and then I think tomorrow is the new Blightbringers, and then Tuesday will be Across the Bifrost, and just we'll just keep on bringing out stuff when we can. If there's a podcast that you think you would like to see on our network, let us know. We'll reach out to them and say, hey, we'd like to help promote you and put you on there. So other than that, guys, please be safe out there. Please be healthy. Drink water. Eat some protein. Eat some vegetables. Get some fruits. Not entirely sugar and bad foods. Try to eat a little bit healthier this year. And as always, if you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. And if you can do something about it, do it. If not, find some at will, because we've got to look after each other. For More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm Nerd.
Now I'm Captain Mizzy.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to More Than Dice, making the world a better, nerdier place, one dumb joke at a time. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more nerdy action or to connect with your hosts, check them out on Facebook.com/morethandice and Twitch.tv/more_than_dice. Until next time, stay nerdy, stay proud, and we'll see you soon on the More Than Dice podcast.